Good morning, everyone. Could you pass by a national lakeshore with 35 miles of sandy beaches? Or bluffs that tower 450 feet above Lake Michigan? How about lush forest or clear inland lakes? Or a place where you can hike, snowshoe or ski over 100 miles of trails, kayak, bike, inner tube, or fish? Well, we're spending 4 days here in Sleeping Bear Dunes National Lakeshore, and we are expecting to have an absolute blast. You have a lot of people here.
This is normal.
Yeah,
this is normal.
yeah.
Yes.
So you stay pretty busy.
Yes.
What do people love about coming here?
They love the pure stocking scenic drive. It's 7 miles, 12 stops, and the most beautiful views you'll ever see.
Oh my goodness, driving on, and it's how many miles? 7 miles.
7 miles.
A scenic drive. Oh, well, I can't wait to see that.
And you will love it.
Yes.
It is just awesome. You'll see the different colors of the blues in the lake. They go from light blue to dark turquoise. And you're going to be 450 feet on a deck, 450 feet above the lake.
Oh my gosh, you can drive up there.
Yeah, you drive up and you walk about maybe a half of a football field to the deck.
Okay.
And it's gorgeous. Just awesome.
You know, I've seen the picture where you can, on the shore, I think it looks like people are in boats and they can see up the hill too.
Yeah.
Is that on the drive or is
yes,
that?
Yes, that's the area that you, yes.
Oh, okay. Oh,
yes.
well, thank you very much.
You're
We're
welcome.
really looking forward to hear.
Well, you will love it.
Thank you. Today's challenge is climbing Sleeping Bear Dunes. Got my tennis shoes on, got my water ready.
Find hills like this, especially at the beach, and run down the sand dunes, and it was so much fun because you felt like you were going so fast you could fly.
All right, what are we doing now?
Off for a bike ride.
Off for a bike ride, all right.
I'm not sure about this. Betty hurt herself doing this the other day. We're gonna find out if she's okay.
I'm okay.
Here we are at the Good Harbor Inn eating a late lunch today after a bicycle ride and some bird watching and touristing at Sleeping Bear Dunes. This is the chicken lentil and rice soup. This is the chicken sandwich.
Next stop is Sleeping Bear Point. This trail we're getting ready to go down now goes to Sleeping Bear Point. Maybe get a better view of the shore. This is a blast hiking along this sand dune cliff. Hope it doesn't collapse any, which it apparently has been doing. Don't you just love Christmas trees on the beach? Haven't seen that before. Rent the canoes at Riverside Canoe Trips. I got a guide today. How you doing back there?
I'm paddling.
Yeah, not me. You're doing good. So what birds have you seen so far?
I think we've seen an American eagle. I heard a blue jay. And what else? Some blue-winged teal and some other duck that had a big yellow collar.
This is a fish weir and we have to portage around it. So we just portaged around the fish weir. And we're going to continue on. It's a beautiful, beautiful hike here. I mean, a kayak, a canoe trip here in Sleeping Bear Dunes.
nice day to be out here.
Yep.
Dang, no turtles. Oh, we got sand dunes on the left. We're almost to Lake Michigan. A pretty little point here on the right. And we're almost to the end of our 2-hour canoe trip. These are pictures from this town in the probably about 1940s or so. This town was really built around loading logs onto the ships that came through. But later it became inhabited by actual loggers. Tough group of people. This is a commercial fisherman's shanty. And you don't see this in Florida where we live, is a fishing sled. Today we are going on a boat trip, part of Sleeping Bear Dunes, and we are going to catch a boat. But here's this town called Fish Town, and we're checking this town out. It's really cute and quaint. There's some more shops here. It's really cute. And this ocean front is just darling. We can't wait to get over to South Manitou Island today. It's amazing the beauty of the flowers around in Michigan, because they're just blooming. They're so happy, but I guess they don't get to be out very long. This is the life-saving station. It was closed in 1958. But
there was a mother bear and her 2 cubs who lived over in Wisconsin, and one day a huge forest fire broke out and actually pushed them into Lake Michigan as they were trying to escape from the flames. And bears are really, really good swimmers, so they actually decided they would try to cross the lake and make it all the way over here to Michigan. However, the 2 cubs were not as strong as swimmers as their mother, so the mother actually crossed the lake first, and unfortunately the 2 cubs ended up drowning a couple miles offshore. And the legend says that these 2 cubs actually became North and South Manitou Island.
Virgin forest. It was never lumbered. And that's how all the cedars have survived here, many of which are over 500 years old. The reason these cedars through here, and we're going to see the biggest one in the country shortly, but the reason that they weren't cut down because this was a lumbering area is because the sand blew in here and the sand filled the cracks in the cedars, and then the timber cutting people couldn't really they were so hard to cut, it wasn't worth what it did to the sharpening and having to sharpen their tools as often.
So this cedar tree right here it's around 700 years old, and it was at one point one of the biggest cedar trees in the world. Most likely it was at one point the biggest cedar tree in the world, white cedar I should say. It unfortunately split about halfway, about maybe a third up, and so as you can imagine it was once very, very large.
Ginseng, it's quite pretty.
Nobody was actually killed in this shipwreck. The ship just ran aground right on the shelf that the island sits on. At the time, there was whiteout conditions. There was a really big blizzard blowing through here, and they had lost their radar. And so, if you look out at the water, straight off of this point, just about an inch below the horizon, if you scan long enough, you'll find a little black speck.
I see it.
Which is that's a buoy that marks where it's safe to go around for ships. And
he was a little off course.
Just a little bit. The ship actually ran aground a couple hundred feet further out. Storms over the years and big waves have picked the ship up and pushed it further and further in. Ice pushes the ship in.
With its protected harbor and heavy timber, the island was first settled in 1840 as a fuel stop for wood-burning steamboats. In 1847 survey of South Manitou, it had a lighthouse, wharf, blacksmith shop, and a small settlement of houses.
Because of the people who are on it, we share meals together out here, and we really get to know each other.
I guess you do.
Yes.
Kind of isolated.
It is isolated.
All
so you
two
have
of
to make
you.
friends. That's right. All 3 of us.
You have to trust each other.
That's exactly
with life
right.
and limb.
That's exactly right.
All right, here we are starting Empire Bluffs Trail. It's not very far there and back, but it should be interesting. It was recommended by the park ranger.
Well, here we are on the Empire Bluff Trail. It's been rainy, but it's stopped, so we're going to do a little birding and sightseeing. Here's a little stop along the trail. It has a few pieces of farm equipment dating back to pre-World War II.
He never follows directions.
I don't see any birds out.
Putting that there in case some of you like hang gliding and such. Apparently they have a launch area over the dunes here. Well, we've almost visited all 417 national parks, and I will tell you, Sleeping Bear Dunes is on our top 10%. Hope you get there and hope you enjoyed our video. Happy travels.